Hey everybody, it's Colette Baron-Reid. Welcome to this month's April reading for the month. It's 2022 and we are going to be having some fun this month, hopefully. And I'm sure the cards are going to tell me that there's going to be a mixed bag of energy this month. But we're going to see, right? We're going to see. I know last month when we did the March one, I looked back at the video and I was focusing so much on hope. And of course, that's what was being galvanized, even though the obstacle reading really did speak about transmuting pain and talking about all the difficulties in the world that we've seen firsthand this past month. So we're going to see how this progresses in April. Remember, when I do these readings, I do them in advance. I have no idea what's going on, and they are a generalized view of the energy that's impacting all of us in the month. So you can always check this with the good astrology charts that are out there. I always do that after the fact to see how in alignment the cards were, and usually they're pretty spot on. Again, what we do with that energy, well, that's what we're talking about here is the prescription. Okay, so great month to do stuff together. It is Aries month, new beginnings, etc. And so why not, since we're in a new beginning, look way back into the past, into our past lives, actually. Denise Lynn and I are doing a spectacular, amazing 3-hour event online, April 23rd. It's called Past Life, Future Miracles. Denise is going to take you through this incredible past life regression, and she's a specialist in past life regression. And then I'm going to take over and bring us back to where we began in the stars and show us our cosmic blueprint and take a look at the future miracles that are possible for each one of you. So it's going to be an amazing event. Excited at noon Eastern Standard Time. You'll see emails, etc. Also, if you have been listening to my podcast, Inside the Wooniverse, it's so amazing. If you have a great aha story or a question for me about one of the episodes or even about something that we talked about in the episodes, did you know that you can submit your questions and have a chance to be on one of my future mailbox episodes? Yes, indeed. We might be answering your direct question on the mailbox episode. So don't be shy. Write in. Anything goes. If you heard me say something, if you want to know about something, just write in and go to the link to submit your question or your story, and you just might hear it on a future episode. I might just tell a story about you. So again, don't be shy. Check out where is the link, Mark? Anywhere up, sideways? We don't know yet, right? Yeah, wherever. Now we're going to do a 15-card reading. I decided this month we're going to be using, I always think of Aries as red. My husband's red. I think of red with Aries, and I wear my fiery top, all about Aries, and new beginnings. So here we are in spring, and let's see. So we're going to talk about first, the theme of the energy is the first 3 cards in the center. So I'm going to lay out all the cards like this. Here we go. Flexible and a leg up. So we're going to do the first 3, and then I'm just going to put them all out. That will give us a better idea of what's happening here. Up. Okay. My husband is going to, we'll figure it all out in a second, right? Let me just put them all down, and then you can tell me where they should all go, okay? There we go. Oh, so far the obstacle area is rich. Ooh, indeed. Oh my goodness, look what I did. It's very, very messy. How about you come and do it? Yes, that's great. I know, it's not my forte.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, when I got my astrology chart redone, because supposedly I had Virgo rising. I actually had the wrong birth time. And it never made any sense to me when people be talking about how organized I was. Like, that's not me. Turns out I have Libra rising, which makes total sense when I had my chart redone. So that was very interesting when I realized, yes, there is no Virgo in moi. No perfectionism here. Okay, so now I'm going to start with these 3 cards and then go to those cards, and I'll show them to you each by each, right? So the first 3 cards are in the center of the 15-card reading, and this represents the themes that are going to run through the month of April energetically for everybody. So the first card is really interesting because it talks about being the armchair astronaut. So it's the person who talks a good game and doesn't ever do anything. Or it's a person who's frozen. It could also mean that where you feel like you just don't know what to do and you're stuck. It also can represent, when you say you want something, but you do something else. Okay. So that's in the center of this month. Okay. So I look at that as energetically a need. Well, we do know that this is the card that says, take one step towards the gods and they will take 10 towards you. This is an interesting card given that Aries is not I sit down and dream of the life. Aries is a go-getter sign. This is the season of Aries. It's the beginning of spring. It's not a time that one would think that you would be stuck, stranded, or wondering and not doing anything that you say you're doing. So it's basically put your money where your mouth is. Get off your butt and do anything. And just one step towards your dreams, towards helping other people, towards whatever it is. Do something and don't just talk about it. Okay, that's really, really important. This is an action card. So it's basically shake yourself off. It's time to move. Now, it's also requiring us to be flexible. So the flexible card is all about resilience and adaptability. So when we've taken action, it's because we have been told, or by the outer world, by whatever in the outer world or inside us, both and, right? Like the outer world might say we need to be galvanized to do something. We've all been galvanized in the past month, certainly with what's going on over in Europe, etc. And obviously there's other things going on in the world too. I mean, it's not just there, but we've been very focused on the turmoil that's been going on. And the flexibility of one day to the next, things can change. So it's really requiring us to still move towards our dreams and desires and helping others, which is the key to compassion and prosperity that I teach about. But it's also about being flexible and adaptable. Don't be rigid about it. And a leg up is there too, is like, you don't do it by yourself. So it's having other people that can help, that can actually say, give their opinions, give their ideas, and having those kind of conversations, like, how do we do this together? It's very much a together month. And it's the adaptability and also the being willing to ask for help and to be there for other people who need help without question. So it's very much an action month where we need to be flexible and adaptable. And honestly, it is our internal resilience that is way more important than whether the outer world decides to do what we want, right? It's like, I will be good if that is this. I'll only be safe if this scenario changes in my benefit or changes because I think I'm safer. If it's really also about safety. The idea that you have to figure that out internally. This is definitely an inside job, and the outer action needs to be in alignment with what you're tuning into internally, right? So this is like a big month. Now, where we're heading, exhaustion. Okay, that's very interesting. Time for a nap is in the protection position. So it is a sense of feeling exhausted. And to the sea is also in protection because it feels like we're on a rocky boat. The boat is shaking in the water and we don't know where it is. And the truth be told card is the thing that flanks it. So it's saying what is being revealed to us this month is not making us feel particularly certain or grounded. However, it does say we're not going to capsize. That's very important to hear that. When I look at that card, it reminds me, hey, yes, it might feel like there's a capsizing going on. It might feel like, that I can't move, I can't go on. It might feel like these things, but the truth is also the freedom, the liberator, that sense of, okay. This is directly related to the flexible card, by the way, too. So here's the flexible cards and the adaptability and the resilience to the truth. This card, time for a nap, is also related to the center card here, chop wood and protection. Both of those are like, wow, yeah, okay, but I'm going to make one step towards the gods and they'll take 10 towards me, and trusting that as long as I stay in the now, too. That's the other thing. Don't look too far forward into the future this month. This is really about, what do I do now? And how do I manage and create the life I feel has meaning for me now, whatever that is, as long as I don't come out of fear. That's the other thing here, because that doesn't help. That works against us. So it's like, what can I do? What action can I take? And that alone helps to mitigate the fear of feeling, I'm exhausted and I can't tell if the boat's going to capsize or not. And this is saying it will not. Now, let's take a look at the obstacles. Oh boy, the obstacles, they're like, ugh. Okay. They don't lie. Cards don't lie. Okay. So this is very, very interesting. So the challenges and obstacles here are all about doing your work and keeping your nose out of your neighbor's garden. Okay. So that's the center card here is how do we do what is best for the highest good and not encroach upon others? That's like very interesting. So it's like keeping your opinions to yourself. And yet at the same time, you want to be able to have a conversation. So it's very mixed bag, very mixed messages. I'm just going to say it's mixed messages this month. So we have this Yang card, which is the card of action and the card of energy, and it's in the protection position. So it's conserving our energy is very important, and to know when are we supposed to be sharing and when are we not. So the superfluous things, arguing for the sake of arguing, having these opinions that don't help, basically. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And just get off your ass and do something rather than talk about it. That's, again, the same thing. A change in the wind is in the protection position, which does mean the challenge is we cannot predict what the unpredictable will do. So it's being ready for anything. Here's this, even though we're tired, the truth is we have to be ready for anything because anything could happen and probably will. And also to trust that when we clean things up, we are only responsible to clean up our own attitudes, our own lives, our own small, tiny universe that then helps the whole, right? So look at yourself before you look at anybody else. Point the finger at you before you point it outside. This is very, very much about how are you going to conserve your energy during a time of great tumult and change, and still maintain a sense of love and joy and hope. Because last month was all about the hope. And I'm reminded that hope, the story of hope, which is all about not being attached to a specific outcome that your hope is sort of tied to. So don't lose hope here is what it's saying. It's like to keep maintaining your hope is don't look outside of yourself for that. Keep the faith inside. Keep that fire, the fire of spirit, the fire of God, whatever you want to call that, the divine matrix within you, the connection to source, to the universe. It lives in you. You have a cosmic blueprint inside of you that I've spoken about ever since I started doing this work 36 years ago. It's like, this is the path. And we have chosen to be here at this time in human history. And that means that we have value, and what we can do also has value. So basically, this is saying the outer world is not going to behave. We are the ones that have to find peace and hope within ourselves, become resilient and adaptable to changing circumstances, to remember to ask for help, and it's okay to ask for help. Take time out for self-care. Crucial, 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 crucial. If there's people you need to help and you're the one that has the privilege to be in an okay situation, but you're fried, you're no good to anybody if you're fried. So remember that whole thing in the airplane, you put your oxygen mask on first before you can help other people. So keep in mind that, especially for empaths and healer types that really want to, we feel called to action when people are in trouble and they need help, but then we burn out because we forgot to take care of ourselves too. You have to have a balance with that. This is what this is saying so far. Now, let's take a look at hidden influences. Now, hidden influences are pretty good. Yay. So TikTok means that we have time. And in the hidden influence of TikTok, it's saying that we are not going to get what we want in the time frame that we dictate. But there is divine appropriate timing also, so that the world will always right itself, that coherence is always where nature wants to go. Look what happened in the pandemic. I don't know if you guys watched this phenomenal film called The Year the Earth Changed. It's on Apple TV. It's by David Attenborough. It's like 50 minutes long. It's one of the best things I've seen. And it talked about how nature changed itself when we were stuck at home during the 2 years of the pandemic, and just how many babies were born, and how nature changed itself because it could flourish without our interference. It's fascinating. So we have to remember we're part of nature. Nature's part of the matrix. Everything eventually comes back to a coherent center where we figure things out. Even though in the midst of things that looks like that's not happening, that's a hidden influence that's still working. We may not see it, but it's there. So there is hope in that. And also the here and now. So the hidden influence of what's going on now. So the more of us that are holding space for hope, peace, what is in the highest good for all, not just for some. We don't need every single person on the planet to do that. If you look at Bruce Lipton's work, for example, when he talked about the butterfly and the concept of imaginal cells, and that we only need a very small percentage of the population of the whole planet to focus so strongly on this and hold space for it as if it were real, right? Even though we don't think it is, we can hold that space in the now and claim it right now. I'm going to claim this. That's what you say. Prayer is just as important as sending money, so both and hold space. We can make a difference. So the not for you card in protection is sort of like that. You know how you chase after the thing that doesn't want you, bang on the doors and are not opening, and then the other one over there that's open you didn't want to go through? It's like those doors are going to be very obvious to us. The universe is going to, and I say the universe, but we're part of the universe. So we do have an impact on what goes on. And there's two things. We co-create reality through two pillars of truth. One, I create my own reality. I co-create reality in partnership with the invisible realms. And I have to surrender to life on life's terms. Like there are times where we have no control over what's going on external to us, and we have to adapt. And that's what's going on right now, both and. We have to live both and. And this is saying we can do it as long as we are staying in 24 hours at a time and responding as called, right? Okay, so these are the divine intervention cards, the wild cards, these three sections here that can cause things to change, but we just don't know when they come and how they relate to us, but they relate to these cards too, right? So these three cards here. So the wild card in the center is between worlds. It means that the divine intervention here is that we will come to some kind of change that will not be satisfying across the board, but it will be a step in the right direction. And that is something we have to surrender to, that not everything is going to be exactly as one would wish. And to surrender that and just to be aware that we're not there yet. We've been talking now for ages. The systems are falling apart. The patriarchy. How often have you heard this, especially in New Age circles? You've been, hearing these stories of, the shifts, et cetera. And it's actually happening now, and it's not a fun ride. So, we say we've been witnessing it, but we really haven't been. We're starting to really see the rubber hitting the road right now. And so this is saying that, remember this TikTok card. So these guys are related. That between worlds says that this is a process. This is not an overnight change or shift or anything, but we're ready for it. And we're going to be ready. So that if this is a divine intervention wild card, it's like, we're going to get ready. And even if we think we're not, the courage, the bravery, the love, the hope, the sense of what is possible, the creativity, the ideas, the inventions, all kinds of things that can comes through us through inspiration. And inspiration is a gift from the divine. And we forget that. Certainly when we're scrambling around, worrying about survival, right? So, and there are parts in the world that we do know are experiencing that right now. But for those of us who are not experiencing directly that, we have to prepare ourselves for this new version of ourselves in relation to everything else. And it is changing, like it or not. But we are ready. And we have to remember, even if we don't think we're ready, Spirit's going to make us ready. And exchanging gifts is a beautiful card because there is an opportunity for us to share right now. So, when times of great crisis happens, like when these cards up there are like, I totally don't like those obstacle cards, but what are you going to do? Anyhow, so these cards right here, I look at them and go, oh boy, but we already know that's true. The challenges and the obstacles, this is the truth. So we don't feel like we're in control. And we're not. And most of this is saying we have no control over what's going on, but we do have the ability to make choices and decisions and become the arbiters and the sovereign of our own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and therefore our actions, because those two things are related. So don't eat fear like candy. Okay, so that's the other thing. Well, I feel like we're at the Halloween store and some wicked witch is handing out the candy. Okay, like the minute you turn on to the news. Now, I watch the news every single day. I watch very specifically. I'll go to BBC and Al Jazeera, and I'll find sources also that are, I will want to know what's going on in the world. I don't hide my head in the sand. I want to know. But I don't sit there and allow the fear mongers to continue to feed me candy until I've got toothaches and all I can think about is that taste in my mouth, right? And then it sets up an addiction, right? So be very careful that you're not swallowing the Halloween candy of fear right now, which is seriously, there's bags of it everywhere. Be careful what you put in your system, right? Exchanging gifts is beautiful. It enables everybody in a time of crisis to reach out to each other and find ways in which we can help that are only done with someone else. That's the other thing. So exchanging gifts needs another person. We don't exchange it like here, sea, here, ocean. No, here, sand. No, here, you, right? So this is we. And it's awesome because this wild card alone says that our connections to one another, if we do something with them, are going to allow this month to have some magic in it, even though we are also being, kind of thrown around in the boat, exhausted, etc. But there's still the energy of feeling ready and feeling good and feeling like I still can make a difference, even if it's tiny. What is it? And let me go do it. Okay? And don't forget your dreams. Do you remember your dreams and desires, your manifestations for your life? When you are creating something that is beneficial to the whole, it helps everybody. Remember that, right? So, boy, I was so good. I know how to live one day at a time because I don't want to snort this whole month in one shot. I'll tell you that much. Okay. We're going to be coming back to you with the Astro Oracle reading for the month. But don't forget, we have April 23rd, that fantastic event with me and Denise Lynn. We're traveling way back into your past lives. Incredible work. Denise just actually did an event for my mastermind. I have a small group that I work with for 8 months, and it was mind-blowing. So we decided, let's do this for the big population and make it phenomenal. And then we're going to be doing the Future Miracles, where I will lead you in the progression. So she does regression and we'll do the progression. And together we are going to do something pretty spectacular for you. So I hope to see you there. Don't forget, Inside the Wooniverse, I want to hear from you. Any stories, any comments, any questions. The questions are the best parts. Write us. There's some link somewhere. And we will get to your questions on our mailbox episode, which is going to be very fun. All right, everybody. Interesting month. We'll see what happens. Take care. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, share this with your friends, leave us a comment. We'd love to read your comments. Take care.